The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
Welcome back. It's been a while, as always. We are going to do a quick movie video of the Backlash Gen 2 from Blazer Marine. I built this boat, actually, I think I built this guy 2 years ago, and it's never been in the water. I have two of these. I built a silver one. It's kind of my main, mud there, my main hydroplane. And I built this one right after it. And these are all wood kits, laser cut kits. And I love my silver one. And I just never really saw the need to get this one dirty and wet. But then the other day I just got a little bit bored. And I thought, let's run this guy. I'll do a quick break-in video. Not really break-in, but setup. Not really setup, but Maiden. So what we've got, this is an all-wood kit. The cowl is fiberglass, obviously. This is my little boat trailer gig because my yard is a massive hill. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So, very basic. I already got the covers taped up. I just didn't do a pretty job because this is just going to be a test run in my front yard. This is my front yard, as you guys all know. So we got some really sticky water today, meaning there's like no ripples. You're going to have a lot of surface tension today. So I'm not really looking for tuning today. We're not going to tune anything. Let's take it over to the big lake where my mom lives. But yeah, we're just going to do some running. One thing I've learned is when you do a maiden on a boat, expect it to not be very good, and you'll never be disappointed. Sometimes I've thrown boats in that I've built, and I build most of my boats, almost all my boats from scratch. Well, from laser cut kits or whatever. They're all wood builds. Sometimes I throw them in, they just rock, and sometimes I throw them in and it's just terrible. I'm hoping I don't need to use the kayak for this. It is a 58 degrees in October, November, so I'm not going to complain. Got my high waters on, and so yeah, that's all good. Let's see who's texting me here. So yeah, so let's get to the boat. Again, Blazer Marine. I'll put the link to the boat kit in the description. It's an awesome hydro. Love the silver one. Like I said, it's identical. Silver one has a ESP engine in it, but this one's got a stock 30 Zenoa. But this is actually the fancy billet. No, this is not the billet one. This is the standard one. Yeah, so just a Zenoa 30cc, nothing, completely stock. The engine isn't even broken in yet. Now with Zenoa engines, you don't usually need to break them in. You kind of, well, I call it seating them. Just kind of, you'll notice after about 4 or 5 tanks of gas, it'll start to loosen up a little bit. And so this hasn't even done that. What I want to do in this run today is basically just run the boat. I'm not going to worry about changing settings. I'm not going to worry about strut height. I just kind of zeroed everything out on my bench. Nothing fancy. I did cut the rudder a little bit. It's all Speedmaster hardware. I pretty much have the turn fin set at 0. A little bit kicked forward, but not much. Belt start only. Got my gas in there. So yeah, everything I do. This is one of the few boats I actually run a 5th scale steering servo in. I think it's just because I had it laying around. I don't think it doesn't need it. I use a 20 kg metal gear on everything, and I have some pretty large boats, and I've never had to have a problem with it. Never had a problem with it. So what we're going to do, like I said, might tune the engine, but I just want to get a good run in. I want to study the boat. I think people, especially on a Maiden, even if it's electric, electrics obviously don't need a whole lot of run in. But the thing that people try to do is at least what I've done in the past, I'll throw the boat in, pull it back out, make it change, pull it back out. The problem with that is I don't think a lot of times you spend as much time running the boat to just get to know it. Every boat's different, every single boat. This one's going to be totally different than my silver one, and it's the exact same kit. And that's okay. You know, it's, but just blow a tank or two of gas, bag or two, whatever, and see what it does. Is the tail coming out of the water? Is it tipping on the turns? Is it doing this, whatever? I might tweak the engine a little bit. I think this engine has had maybe a tank or two through it, maybe. But other than that, Nah, it's not. I wouldn't call it run in. I have both needles on the carb set at about 1 3/4. Was 1048 carb if I remember right, and that's really it. And nothing fancy. So I just want to make sure it runs. Hopefully, I don't have to go kayaking to go get it. I don't have a rescue boat anymore because my tug it works, but it needs some overhauling. But worst case, I have to hop in the kayak and go get it. No big thing. But I just want to make a little ripple there. I just want to get a few laps in and just burn 3/4 of a tank of gas. See what happens. I want to study the boat, see how it rides, and whatever else. You'll notice I filled this up yesterday because I thought I was going to run yesterday and didn't have a chance. And I got that big old air bubble. And that just won't do. So we're going to burp the bag, as they say. Usually I do this when I'm fueling. And I just backwash the fuel pump. But you don't want that air bubble hitting the carb, because if it does, bad things will happen. You'll stall out there in the middle of nowhere. You have to get in your kayak. You get all wet. And as beautiful of a day as it is, a little overcast, but the temperature's nice. That water is friggin' cold, man. Let me tell you what. It's not the best fun you'll ever have, even in a kayak, because your hands are still I'm gonna get wet anyway, obviously. So let's see what we got. So I do use a cable throttle. Okay, so the servo is sideways, laying down, and we're using a cable to drive it. I don't like the bell cranks. A lot of people like one way, and a lot of people like the other, like anything in life. I think I have like 15 gas boats. Every single one of them has a flex cable shaft in it. Make sure our steering's not hateful. Okay, let's see what happens. And I think for giggles and grins, let's see, do I want to put a camera on this guy? Where should we put it? I think we're just going to put a camera. And these are just GoPro Hero Sessions. I got one in the hat and one here. And I 3D print a little, I'll put it back here. I 3D print a little case for it and a buoy. And I fill the buoy up with expanding foam. That's the same foam I use in the boats. This boat has foam in here and here, in the sponsons. Might have some in the sides. Can't remember. So once I fire this pig up, it's going to get impossible to talk. So we'll just, I'm going to hand launch it. I might do a double hand. When you're alone trying to launch a big boat, sometimes I will grab it by the sides and I'll be holding my transmitter in the left hand and throw it like that. Sometimes I just whip it up in one hand like this and chuck it in. Just depends on my mood. So this one, since it's just cold, I don't feel like getting totally soaked, I think we'll just do it two-handed. So I'm going to fire this guy up, let it warm up a little bit, pop the top, and see what happens. Here we go, kids. Turn on the camera. Off to a good start. Ooh, a little hobby. Remember, we're pretty much stock settings on the carb. Woo! Slowing down a little bit. There is a rope in the water over there I try to avoid. A little hoppy. Strut definitely needs adjusting. That's me slowing down the curves. I just don't feel like swimming today. Whew, not bad for a maiden. All right. I'm gonna bring her in. Not bad. All right, apparently my GoPro is on a timer, so I'm not sure how much of that you missed. I have to fix that later. So, I'm not used to the GoPros on the hat. So, used a little bit of gas, not too bad. What we're going to do now is, didn't even take on much water, and for, it's not really a sealed machine. So, yeah, I was happy with that. We're going to tweak in the high speed just a touch. Right here. Okay, we're going to fire it up again and see what she does. So I'm going to reset my camera so it doesn't turn off again. Be right back. So we tweaked the high a little bit. Oh no! She stalled. Sadness. I'm wondering, that stall right there, I don't think was a starvation stall on the carb. I think what that stall was getting water in the carb because it seemed awful quick to die. And what I'm hoping is I don't have to get in a damn kayak for that. I will be right back. All right, we're back. So when I was over there getting the boat out, and I just had to use my kayak paddle and just kind of pull it in, it was no big deal, I could hear my boat fail-safing. And I'm not sure if that was because I had my radio on the ground and I was over there. This is a funky area for radio signal because of all the hill in my neighborhood, if you want to call it neighborhood, all 8 people. But I've had some weird radio experiences here before. And back in the quad days when we were flying, it wasn't quite as prevalent because you're up in the air and the omnidirectional signal is a better spread. You don't have reflection. But we have a lot of signal reflection down here, so that might have been it. I'm going to try and stay in this part of the water, and we'll see what happens. So I just checked the battery real quick and taped everything back up. So let's go ahead and give it another day in court. Be right back. On the problem. See the throttle? We've got a loose doohickey. All right, I'll be right back. And so we replaced the grub screw. Let's give it a shot, see what she does. And yes, I know, guys, this is not the proper way to hold down your cowling, but unfortunately, I am out of the O-rings that usually do that job. So let's give her a day in court, see what happens. Ooh, a little hoppy, huh? Yeah, but leaning her out definitely helped. We gotta fix that turn fin. Turn fin's nasty. I did raise the strut a little bit too, off camera. That helped. Really hoppy in the turns. Bringing her in. I am pretty happy with that for what I saw. For a maiden voyage, I consider that fairly successful. I consider that a maiden just because all I really did was I dialed in the high speed, just a touch, very little actually. I don't think that the carb is really ready at this point to be, you know, totally tuned in, but not hateful. I didn't hate it. So definitely hoppy in the turns. We gotta do something with that fucking turn fin. I'm gonna have my buddy Alan machine me up a good one that's straight. That one's curved, and I don't know. I just don't have luck with those. So anyway, kids, that's it. The Blazer Marine Backlash Rev 2, I believe. So till the next time, keep the dry side up. Talk to you later. Bye.
Gangnam Style.